a big round of applause to both of them for doing this every single day. Trust me, I know it is not easy to come.
It's not.
And a big round of applause to all of you, each and every one of you, for showing up here, because you can be watching TV, you can be sleeping, you can be doing anything, but you chose to be here today. That deserves a big hug to you, each and one of you. You know, you really, I'm so happy to see you here from my heart to all of you. So today is going to be, so we're already 5 minutes in. We are going to talk a lot of information today. It's going to be lot of fun and a lot of information. So today, the way I will explain is my way of teaching will be more like a stories. So I'm going to tell you stories. So it's, you know, you can, it's not like overloading your brain. So let me start sharing a presentation. This presentation is pretty long. This is actually an hour, but I'm gonna just give you, I guess, the main aspects of it today in the next half hour. And then we'll have a lot of fun in the end for question and answers. So make sure you stay for that. Um,
But you need to be co-host, right? If you're sharing the screen.
yeah,
This is
probably.
okay. I'll make you co-host. There you go. You should
Okay.
be able to share the screen now.
Yes.
Then can we mute all of them? So by
Yeah.
chance, like in
Let's go ahead
between,
and mute
so
everybody.
yeah. Sorry, just unmute yourself when you talk.
Yes. Hang on, guys. I want to be able to see you guys as well. Okay. Okay, perfect. I can see you. Okay, so this is actually a presentation which we've done a lot in expos, you know, in exhibitions and when, you know, spiritual events. So today I'm going to ask if you have heard Komal saying that I am actually a manifestation coach now. I work with women to really empower them in teaching them about manifestation. Anything you want to manifest, from attracting your career, attracting your next step to career, next job, or making more money, or, you know, getting the perfect health, or whatever that is in you, that is your goal, that the deep desire you have, the higher calling you have. I help women step out of their fear and resistance and achieve that. Now, the main aspect of what that is includes, of course, meditation and pyramids are a big part of that, of my work. And I see Mr. Ravindra ji, Ravindra from Bombay is already wearing a pyramid, which is amazing. He's already soaking that energy. And and Komal is bringing up her pyramid, which is amazing. So we're gonna really learn not just about the spiritual aspect of it, but we're going to learn really the science behind it. Okay, so I want you guys to really stay with me, here, because this is a lot of information today we're going to discuss. All right. So, so today I want to share with you how a story about, there are going to be three stories that go in parallel. How I started working with pyramids, about a little bit about science. We don't have much time to go in detail. Um, and then we're going to talk about Pyramid Spiritual Society's movement itself, and Patriji, who also happens to be my father. So we're going to talk about this whole story in this next half hour. Okay. um, and at the end, I'll also share with you three practical applications of pyramids that you can use in your everyday life. That is my goal, you know. it's not just about understanding this woo woo or science, but how can you use that in your everyday? What can you do to enhance your life here now? So that's what we're going to discuss. So my first contact with pyramids. Again, my name is Paripatri. I am from India. I was born in Hyderabad. Um, I'm not going to go into the story of what this slide entails, but just in quick essence. Um, so my father, he was awakened Subhash Patri, and that's my mother and father there. So he was awakened. He was awakened in the year 1979. He had, and then at that point he started exploring spiritual science. Since 1979, he started reading. The way he started exploring, because at that point there's not much of information. There's no internet. There's no nothing. So all he was doing is just finding books, finding spiritual science books, secondhand books, and started reading them. He is a voracious reader. He is um, the only thing I remember, the way I see him, is just having a book in his hand. That's how I remember him all through my childhood. So he has been really, really reading books, and then meditation came to him. And then in 1980s, he decided that his purpose and his mission in life is to teach meditation. So he started doing that to everyone that he sees, and that's how his journey started. Um, and then the one thing that this is something that I really want to take a couple of minutes to explain, because this is important for understanding pyramids. The air that we breathe in, the food we eat, the people we know, our thoughts, our emotions, as well as the environment we live in, is fundamentally concentrated fields of energy at different frequencies. Okay. Everything we see, even the phone that we think as matter, is energy, and that's all they do it. So if you really want to now, talking about manifestation, if you really want to attract something into your life, all you have to do is match your frequency with what you want to attract. It's not about, oh gosh, I need 3 years to achieve that, or I need so much money to achieve that. No, that's not what you need. You need to create, you need to be in that frequency to achieve that in your life. And that's all you want. So match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get there. There's no other way other than that will manifest. So if you're living in fear and you're always thinking about, oh my gosh, what will go wrong? What will go wrong? What will go wrong? The more you start living that feeling every day, the more you will start attracting that into your life. The things that create fear in your life, that opportunities or that experiences. So it's all about frequencies. And frequency is about energy. It's all, when we go into the core, it's all energy. So the only thing that in all of these 21 days, or the PSSM, the main essence is that you are a powerful creator. You absolutely create your own reality. There is nothing outside of you. There is no God, there's no savior that will come and help you. You have to take your own responsibility and create your own reality. This is the main. You are 100% responsible of the situation that you find yourself in, whether you create a success, whether you create a failure. It is you are 100% responsible. There is no, oh, my mother did this, that's why this happened, my father. No, it's your experience. What is your experience? Means the way you feel, the way you are experiencing a situation is what you are creating. So now the best way to tell which frequency you are operating is by observing your feelings and emotions. And that's a whole another class about emotions. So your emotions, your feelings are your indicators to know, okay, which frequency I'm at, what is happening with me. So to change, okay, now this is the turning point. There's a book called The Secret Power of Pyramids. So he read this in early 1980s. And once he read this, his life changed forever. He started understanding the power of pyramids with this book. And there are many other authors around that area. Called Paul Brunton is another author. In the 70s, there's another author called Patrick Flanagan. We'll talk about him in a little bit now. So when he started reading this book, he's like, he already knew meditation, but he didn't really quite know about pyramids, because when we talk about pyramids, all we think about, even at that point, is Egypt, right? Egypt, the wonder, and all that. So, but pyramids have this power. Pyramids have, and the association of pyramids and meditation is something that nobody has really put them together until then. And in 1980s, then he started teaching meditation to 1%, 2%, 3%. That's how this organization started. 1990, the PSSM was established in Kurnool. It's a small town in Kurnool, in Andhra Pradesh, where the actual PSSA, it was not a movement, it was just a society at that point, was established. And in 1992, it became a movement. They changed that society into movement, because there were a lot of people that were coming from the nearby towns, villages, and people started coming and started learning meditation. Though it was not like a big huge number, but word of mouth, at that point, that is the only way the word was spread, and people started coming. And there was one in Kurnool, there was this one person who was, he was a sponsorer. He said, hey Patriji, I wanna, you're going to everybody's houses and teaching this meditation. I want to build you a meditation center. That's what he said. Then Patriji said, you know what, if you're building me a meditation center, please build a pyramid. And he had absolutely no idea what a pyramid is at that point. And even the engineers didn't know how to build a pyramid. Then they started doing research and started understanding, okay, how do we uh, build a pyramid? And he gave this exact book to that person. And then he was convinced. So that is where he started bringing meditation and pyramids together. And we'll understand why. I'm assuming that you all know what are the benefits of meditation by now. So now we're going to talk about pyramids, and how both of them, when we combine, what really happens. So was the first pyramid, 1991. This was the first pyramid where 300 people can sit inside it. This was built. This is where I actually grew up. This was my childhood place. This is where all my childhood went in meditating, and I used to do like hours, like 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours as a child in this pyramid. And then, so once this pyramid was built, people got like intrigued, like, okay, what is this pyramid? What does it do? Because word spread. People from nearby villages, more and more started coming, and okay, started trying to ask questions and understand what is meditation and understand about pyramids. And these were the experiences that started showing up, because again, at that point, remember, there was not much of information coming from outside. We had to explore ourselves. What is this? So people started seeing that their stress, mental health, was getting better and better. Of course, at that point, they didn't really talk as mental health, but we started seeing a lot of effects. They became more calmer, more grounded. Healing started happening. From headaches to cancer, people started healing themselves. My own mother's experience, she burnt her hand, and she actually burnt her hand. And what she did was, instead of going to hospital or something, she put her hand under a pyramid, and it got healed. Of course, it took time. It's not going to be like instant, like a painkiller. The pyramid is not a painkiller. Okay, let me tell you that. It is not a painkiller. Even meditation is not a painkiller. All these modalities are like vitamins. They nourish you. They make you stronger. They make your immune system get stronger. So that's how they help you. They are not painkillers by any means. People started having out of body experiences, astral traveling, things like that, third eye activations, experience ranging from calmness to extreme euphoria. I mean, we've seen so many experiences, kundalini activations, raising vibration here. What I mean is that the highest frequency is of love, compassion, gratitude. So people who are anger, lot of anger, a lot of, in that agitated more. People, we have started seeing them becoming calmer. That means their vibration is rising. That's what it means. So these were the effects that we started seeing. The second pyramid came in 1996. This was again a small pyramid by the time. So remember the 91, the first pyramid, it took really actually 5 years to get the next pyramid, which is 50 people. This is a small town called, a village called Urakonda. And then in 2003, there was, again, it took like what? 7 years, 4 + 3, 7 years to get the third pyramid, which is Anantapur. So from 1991 to 2003, the movement started spreading within Andhra Pradesh. That's where it started spreading, all the nearby towns. Since 2000, once it hit 2000, 2001, it went into nearby states, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, and so forth. And then he was also stepping into Madhya Pradesh by then. By 2000, he started, by 98, actually, Madhya Pradesh started. But this time it was really, we are reaching into northern India. And okay, this is my story, which I want to talk about to relate to pyramids. So I'll be brief, guys, or maybe I'll skip this part because it might take a lot of time. So just to talk about it, is when I moved to US, there was a lot of disconnecting that was happening within me, that I was getting disconnected from my true self. I was really not connected to my purpose. I was getting carried away with my environment, who do not believe in meditation, who do not believe in what I'm talking about right now, the energy and all that stuff. And I had a deep longing to be loved, to be accepted by the people around me. So what I did was, I said, you know what, let's forget meditation, let's forget all my what I know, let's believe what everybody is saying, that this is the truth. So I started changing myself, I started believing what they believed. And then slowly I started getting into fear, I started people pleasing, I started struggling in life. Until then, I never actually struggled in my life. Struggle for getting a job, struggle for getting a visa, at that point. All of these were getting struggles, and which I never really understood, like, because when I was a child, I used to manifest like really easily, but I didn't really know the recipe of how I did that. And then now that I started struggling, and I'm like, I started questioning, like, okay, what is happening? This was not me, I'm a different person, how did I change? All of that triggered a deep awakening within me a few years back. And that's when my awakening with transformation started. I started doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of research, and all of that is now something that I want to present today with you, before you. I want to share with you guys. So let's leave this. This is all science. I want to go to this chart. So
But
this is
it's
just a
okay if you wanna
frequency.
go 10 minutes extra in
No,
thought.
it will take more time. Yeah, we'll have it for question and answers, because I don't want to bore with science now. But this is a frequency chart which I want to show you. Remember, I talked about frequencies. Everything is frequency. Your thoughts, your emotions, your words, everything has a frequency. So if you are say, even like even like a worry is a lower frequency. Anything that you are in, like fear, or or guilt, oh, I shouldn't have said that, why did I say that, why did I do that? Guilt, feeling guilty, oh no, I made them wait for a longer time, I shouldn't. Komal, Pari is here, it is, we are not having enough time, people are not here enough. If you're feeling all of those feelings of guilt or shame, what, even shame that we suppress, we, even though we are meditating, even though we are in doing prayer or gratitude, all of this, we still are living in lower frequencies. That means we are attracting things of lower frequencies into our lives. So always see where you are, what feeling, what emotion are you going through. So neutrality is something which is also in we'll talk. Neutrality is a very deeper concept which I don't want to talk about. Non-confrontation, not talking about things, not expressing things, is still a lower vibration. Trusting yourself. Trusting doesn't mean not only others, but trusting your own decisions, trusting your what you feel, what your emotions, that is important. Non-judgment, this is huge. Non-judgment is one of the biggest energy drainers. If you're judging others, whoever it is, whether it is politicians, movie actors, whoever it is, when you are judging, you limit yourself. Your experience get limited, that and you start draining your energies. Compassion, of course, compassion, forgiveness, and all of these are higher frequencies. So we want to stay in the higher frequencies. That's when we start manifesting much faster. We start attracting things much faster. Okay, so now let's get into the pyramids. What is a pyramid? Pyramid means there are pyramids around the world. You know, pyramids are not just something that we are hearing now. It's not a new age thing. It has been there around since ancient times. Pyramids of Giza, that's something that you know in Mesopotamia. The one here, that hill that you see is a Bosnian pyramid. There are pyramids in Australia, the pyramids in China, Indonesia, Africa, Sudan, there are pyramids. In America, there are pyramids. There are pyramids all over the world. All over the world. Some are covered in vegetation, some are underground. So why are they pyramids? Why not a rectangle? Why not a circle? Why not a icosahedron? Why a pyramid? So that's what we're going to discuss today. Pyramid basically means pyra amid, fire in the middle. Okay, fire in the middle. That is the actual meaning of the word pyramid. It's also known as, in Egyptian language, per meter. Per meter means house of energy. Egyptians used to call it house of energy. Now, I did a course called Pyramid Mastery, which is on my website, paripatri.com, which I did a very in-depth study of this. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about this guy. Okay, I don't have his picture. Okay, there's a guy called Nikolai Kozyrev. This guy he's from Russia. He has done extensive research on pyramids and basically torsion fields. That's what torsion field he'll call. Let me see if I have a. Okay, we talk about a fire in the middle, torsion field. So he will talk about torsion field. So what is really, what does really happen inside a pyramid? Inside a pyramid, what really happens is, if you have learned torsion fields in your school, torsion field is basically, it is like a whirlpool. You know, the vibration is like a funnel, upside down funnel. This is basically an upside down funnel. In this, it creates this angles. The angles are very important in a pyramid. The material is not so important. The angles are important for a pyramid. This is Giza pyramid, which is 51 degrees 51 minutes. This is a Russian pyramid, which I'll briefly touch about it. This is an Orgon Russian pyramid, which has different angles. There are Nubian pyramids with different angles, Golden pyramid, different angles. There are a lot of different angles and pyramids. But today, in this class, we're going to talk about Giza pyramid. Giza pyramid, which is of the Egyptian pyramid. So any kind of pyramid has this torsion field, which creates, and which is basically an antenna to cosmic energy. It basically attracts energies into this pyramid. This prana, this chi, vacuum, the ether, or whatever the scientists have called it. That's why it is called house of energies. And at the one third point of the energies are extremely potent, extremely concentrated, and that's where the king's chamber come into place. Okay, and I'm not just saying this. There are a lot of experiments done, and in my course I go into detail about each experiment on that. So I'll just share with you, if you have time, a couple of experiments. Okay. So pyramid research, one of the there are a lot of researchers here. Let me talk about this. Okay, this guy. So Karil Darbal. Okay, I'll take one research and talk about that. So this is a very popular research, and I did a video on my YouTube channel also on this, if you want to like get deeper into this. So at that point, this was early 90s, and at that point, Prague, Czechoslovakia is basically, if you know history, it was a very communist time. the war was going on. It was a communist time, and it was in a very bad shape. The country was in a very, very bad shape. There was no money at all. So the people in that time, they didn't even have money for a razor blade. That's how bad it is to buy new razor blades. So this guy, Karel Darbal, learned about, there was this research that just started beginning this whole research about pyramids in that time, early 1900s. And he was like, okay, you know what? I'm really hearing a lot of this stuff. Let me experiment. Let me see what happens. I don't have money to buy a razor blade. Why not just put my razor blade under a pyramid and see if it works? So he started experimenting with it. He started putting his razor blade under a pyramid. He made his own pyramid out of cardboard, and he put it under for like 24 to 48 hours. And what he saw was his used razor blade got sharpened, and he started using it again. That's how he started. Like he was amazed, like, okay, what is this happening? He started repeating those experiments, and within 10 years, so he went to this patent thing. He wanted to create his own sharpener, razor blade sharpener. At that point in Czechoslovakia, it's not easy to get a patent. You have to really do lot of research to be awarded a patent. So he worked with the scientist of that country for 10 years to get awarded. And he has a patent which is 91304, and that is a pyramid sharpener. So it is actually a fact. It is not a myth. So then and so forth. There were a lot of experiments done. Patrick Flanagan is a big name in this industry, which he has done extreme lot of experiments. Now, I'm not going to go into this, which is Russian pyramid and the research around that. I just want to talk about pyramids in jails. We have built, PSSM has built pyramids in jails, which I'll show you those pictures. So remember the story I was talking about. I was talking about how he started meditating and started learning about pyramids, and the first pyramid was built. So he now, the concept now, PSSM movement has begun with three pillars. One is meditation, teaching meditation throughout the masses. That was the first primary goal. Second is connecting science to spirituality through pyramids, because they are houses of energies. Now, meditation, of course, raises a vibration. Now, imagine when you meditate inside a pyramid, how powerful it can be. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So that's what people started seeing. People started seeing, okay, gosh, there are a lot of experiences that are happening. Uh, there is something to this pyramids, and people started seeing this. And the first big mega pyramid came in 2003, which is called the Pyramid Valley in Bangalore, where 5,000 people can sit. Okay, the website is pyramidvalley.org. You can go and check it out. It's in Bangalore. If you go to India, it's a must visit spot. And inside this pyramid, this is how it looks like. This is the king's chamber. So you can sit on top of that king's chamber and meditate. People, like we just heard an experience recently, like last week or so, where a kid, she had type 2 diabetes. She went there. She was on insulin. She was like probably 9 years old. She was on insulin, and she went there. She heard about this. She went there and she started meditating, and she was getting better. So your immune system, you start getting healed. How do you heal? What is really healing? Healing is about removing any kind of distortions, any kind of misalignments, energetic blocks. And that's what happens when you're at a higher state of vibration. Okay, when you're at a higher state of vibration, you start healing, you start connecting to earth and to your soul purpose. And when you are aligned with your soul purpose, that when you start healing. When you do not trust yourself, when you do not listen to your heart, you don't heal, because that's what happened to me. Remember my story. I was telling I was so disconnected. With my awakening process, I started connecting to my true purpose. And I'm telling you, I used to have extreme migraines. Like, I used to lock myself in a room 3-4 days, no light, no sound. If my husband comes and opens, I would yell at him, I will go crazy. And from there, since I started awakening and connecting to my true purpose, migraines are completely gone. Thyroid was gone. I had thyroid, which I was taking hyper, like, the Synthroid, 0.75 mg every single day. Now, no more thyroid, no more migraines. I'm like super energetic. So all this happened because I brought pyramids into my life back. I started understanding how to work with them, how to raise that energy in the house, so that I'm constantly uh, energizing myself. I'm constantly in higher elevation so that the healing happens. Now, the next pyramid, the mega pyramid, came in 2003 again. This is in Hyderabad, the place called Kartal. Here, 6,000 people can sit. So this is a bigger pyramid than that. And here you see this is the King's Chamber. It's really, really beautiful. There's a lot of images on it. You can go to the website as well, Maheshwara Pyramid. And at the end of the year, every year, we have a mega event called this last 2 years were Mahila Dhyana Mahachakram, where in 2019, about 35,000 people came every single day to meditate there. And all the 11 days of that event, there is free food, free breakfast, free lunch, free dinner. And there's no entry fee, nothing. People just come, meditate, listen, and share experiences and go home. That's about it. It's absolutely one of a lifetime experience. I invite each and every one of you to come there and experience that for yourself when you can start traveling. This year I'm going, no matter what. But if you can come, please join. So now people started building everywhere, schools, on their top of their houses, water tanks, everywhere. Now, this is just a few. There are 25,000 pyramids that are built now across the world, in India and across, and still counting. Every day I see on Facebook, somebody built a new pyramid inauguration here. So there's so much happening. This movement is just going everywhere because they're seeing the results. These are the pyramids built in jails in Andhra Pradesh. So there are three pyramids that are built where they are seeing a lot of changes. Remember that I talked about frequencies. So as you go higher frequency, you start becoming compassionate, loving, and that's what they saw in the inmates when they started. They made that a mandatory thing that they go and meditate in the jail in that pyramid, and they started seeing extreme changes within that. Imagine, and this was also done in Russia, by the way. In Russia, also they built pyramid, and they saw a lot of changes. Imagine if we build pyramids everywhere, what an amazing thing it would be for the entire world. And I haven't shared half of what I have here, the experiments, the benefits. It basically even um, affects your environment, reduces the crime rate. There's something called meditation effect. There were 7,000 people meditating together, which decreased 70% of the world crime rate. This was a Maharishi effect. If you can Google, you can find it. Imagine if you meditate inside a pyramid or build a pyramid, how amazing the world will be. We will no longer be dependent on medications, drugs, nothing. All we need is to sit and meditate and eat the right food. Of course, eating right food is very important. Eating plant-based whole food is very important to be in alignment, to remove those distortions. um, Now I'm going to share with you last three things about three applications. Okay, about three applications about pyramids. um, okay, so this is just a picture of all the pyramid societies across the world. You can see it's everywhere now in USA, in Canada, Australia. So the PSSM Global, Pyramid Spiritual Societies Movement Global, is a organization that is focused on connecting all these countries, connecting to mindful organizations, so that we connect and we spread this message together, because we need each and every one of you who is here today, your help to promote this message, to send, instead of talking about what healthcare has so many problems, that has so many problems, instead of talking about that, why can't we talk about, hey, I meditated, this happened? Why can't we shift those conversations? Because that's the number one conversation everywhere we go. Hospitals are filled, people are dying, this is happening, that is happening, my thyroid, I can't eat this, I can't eat that, I have diabetes, I can't do that. The conversation has to shift. Again, it is about manifesting. Your thought, your words have frequencies. If you're talking about that all the time, you attract that into your life. So instead of talking about not being in health, you talk about being in health. Talk about working out, talk about being in nature, talking about eating the right food. then you shift your life. So that's very important to understand that what we are talking, what we are thinking is important. The conversations we have in our life is important. So then I started working with pyramids. So now I all with all my clients, this is number one thing that I teach is how to then how to work with pyramids. So this is about me. 3 ways to use pyramids to manifest. Okay, one is for manifestation. Set an intention and put it under a pyramid. Okay, whatever intention that you have, be clear, be precise what you want. Don't just say I want more money. Say exactly what you want. Okay, put that specific date, specific time. I do new moon and full moon sessions for women. In fact, this Saturday new moon session is happening. If in that I teach in detail how to set intentions. So write an intention, put it under a pyramid. Just put it under a pyramid, and read that intention every single day to manifest. Okay, that's number one application. The second is drinking pyramid water. Put up that's, I mean, I have a grid there. If you can just use pyramid. And you don't even need to have like full solid, even that's just a pipe. So even if you just have a pipe, that's fine too. So you see there's no, you can see through it, so it's just a pipe. It's all about the angles that is important. So the only thing I make my kids drink is pyramid water. I don't first of all don't drink tap water. Tap water has fluoride in it. If fluoride drinks, it suppresses your pineal gland. So do not have toothpaste which has fluoride and water which has fluoride. So purified water, and you can write your intentions in there and put it under a pyramid. Third application, chakra balancing. If you know about chakras, I do a lot of energy work in that. So you can, these are the small pyramids, 2-inch pyramids, where you can put them on your chakras to balance them, to bring them in alignment. So this is about me, and I want to share with you, before we get into meditation, I want to share with you this event that is coming up this Saturday. Globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, where I'm talking about manifesting and how we can manifest prosperity in a natural economy. And I'm going to share the PSM story in there, so you can learn more about that on that event. It happens, and there's a promo code. It's actually $35, but if you use the promo code Peace Tribe, you get it for free. Okay, Peace Tribe, if you want to join it, globalpeacetribe.com. And then I'm also starting a 40-day course on Reinvent Yourself, which is a certified pyramid meditation course that is starting April 15th. So it's free of cost. If you want the certificate, there's a minimum donation required. And of course, there's attendance and participation that is required. But this is something that if you want to know deeper about PSSM, deeper about pyramid meditation, this is a course that you want to join. And if you want to know more about the pyramids, I have a course on my website. You can go to my website, paripatri.com, to learn more about that. Okay, we did like 43 minutes now. It was a lot of subject, I know, and I didn't even cover half of it. But if I have to give you basics, you need to know all of this stuff. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. Is everybody with me, or are you guys sleeping?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Thank you. Thank you
amazing.
so much, Pari. That was loads of information.
Your energy is contagious, Pari. Love your energy. Thank you.
Thank you, and I love that you guys are here and getting this information, because I love sharing this information with everybody. So I'm happy you're here. And now we will do a meditation. I'm going to play some music which are of pyramid frequencies. Okay, they're very specifically tuned pyramid frequencies of the Giza pyramid.
Can
So
I,
we're going to do, yeah.
I just have one question, quick question. Can everybody handle the energy of pyramid, or only certain people can?
Everybody can.
Everybody can.
Yes.
You don't need to know anything about it.
You don't need to know anything about it. Your energy body will. It's not your conscious mind that connects with the energy. Your energy body connects with it. So you don't need to know, and everybody can experience this. Um,
No age restriction or no?
no age restriction. Everybody from I started meditating from 2 years of age. So I made
Wow.
this meditate from 2 years. So anybody from 2 years to 100 years can meditate, or even 1,000 years can meditate. And anywhere you can meditate, any place you can meditate. You can meditate after shower, before shower, after eating, before eating. There's
Okay.
no rules. The only rule is that when we are meditating, we should not open our eyes. That is the only rule. So the way you meditate is you sit straight, you find your comfortable spot, cross your
Mhm.
legs. If you're sitting on a chair, you cross your legs. If you're sitting on a floor, you find your sukhasana. You clasp your hands like
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
like this, and you sit straight. You close your eyes and you observe your breath. Inhale, exhale. There's no chanting, there is no visualization. What we are doing is we are bringing from the thought, our awareness from here to our breath. That's what we are doing. We're just observing the breath. And it's natural to get thoughts, but you just gently bring yourself back to your breath. So if you're thinking, then you say, oh, I'm thinking, that means I'm not observing my breath. Let me come back to my breath. So you just gently bring yourself back to breath. And it is a practice. It's not going to happen if you're a beginner. It's not going to happen like overnight. What really happens in practice is, say for example, your thoughts are coming like this, immediate thoughts. Okay, every thought has its own frequency. Now with practice, each the frequency of each thought coming, the space between that thought becomes, it increases. So one thought comes and there's space, and another thought comes. So the more you practice, that space starts increasing, and that is where you start experiencing cosmic energy, the flow of cosmic energy into your body. And that's when you start having experiences. So when you start meditating with a pyramid, it is 3 times effective than you do normally. So if you're just coming out of yelling at your kids, watching TV, you're distracted, you have emails coming on your phones, and you're like everywhere, and you come and say, okay, let me meditate, let me calm myself. You're still thinking about all of that. At that point, if you meditate under a pyramid, it is much more effective than you do normally. So that's where pyramids come into play. Let's meditate now with that music, and then we'll take questions after.
Thank you.
Sure. Sit comfortably. Find your sweet position. Get a sip of water if needed. Take a deep breath. Just integrating everything that we talked about. Just centering yourself, and with the next deep breath, just signal your body that you're entering into a meditative state, and giving yourself permission to be here today and experience this beautiful pyramid energies. Just bring your focus to your breath. Do not open your eyes until we finish the meditation. Easy, normal breathing. Just gently relaxing your shoulders, your knees, your back of your neck, your eyebrows. And with next breath, just sinking deeper onto the ground. Noticing the sensations of the ground on your feet. No forced breathing, just gentle, easy breathing. Inhale, exhale. Observing how your belly moves with your breath. Noticing the movement of your chest, flowing each inhale and exhale. Just easy, normal breathing. Healing does not happen in a rush. Healing happens with time and patience. Give yourself permission to be here today in this gathering and meditate. Everything else can wait. There's no rush. Releasing with your next breath, with your next exhale, any tension, any stress you may be carrying, any unresolved conversations. Just gently release it out with your next exhale. And with your next breath, a wave of relaxation sweeps into your body. With each breath, you're getting deeper, sinking deeper onto your chair or ground. Find a space between each inhale and exhale. Just bring your attention to your breath. Next few minutes, We will just sit in silence and observe our breath. As the mind wanders, bring yourself gently back to your breath. As we observe our breath, we connect to the source energy. This abundance of oxygen around us. Feel that in your heart with each and every breath. Your next breath, fill your lungs with oxygen, your body with oxygen. Sense that there is abundance of oxygen around us. We breathe as much as we want. Notice the air on your lips as you breathe. Is it warm or cold? Are you breathing with both your nostrils or just one? Just enjoying this beautiful space that we created by just being with our breath. Nothing to worry about. All is well. Everything is just as it should be. You have chosen to be here today to meditate with all of us. It's all in the divine timing. Everything is happening. Give yourself permission to be here and enjoy this moment. Inhale, exhale. Easy, normal breathing. The only thing real is this moment. Everything else is a story. We stay in this moment, connect to our true power. Just observe your breath, being in the now. You're not male or female or a homemaker or a manager or a professional. You're just your consciousness observing your breath. As the mind wanders, just gently bring back to your breath. To the now moment. Every breath, DNA is aligning itself to that of health, to that of wholeness. The only job we have is to observe our breath. Everything else is taken care by the nature itself. We are all connected. Our meditation lifts the people around us. The highest service to the world, to the humanity, is to meditate and teach meditation. We are masters. We are the creators. I invite you to your next breath. Breathe into that space within you that feels alive, feels awakened. Just breathe into that area. Notice the sensation of being alive. And just getting back to your breath. Inhale, exhale. Easy, normal breathing. completely normal breathing. Last 5 minutes. Must meditate every single day to connect to the source energy, to experience this infinite flow of abundance in your lives. We are abundant and we manifest abundance through our creations, through our words, through our actions. We do not need approval from outside. You are the creator. The truth will be revealed as you connect with your breath to your source. Meditation is very, very easy. Just being with our breath. No chanting, no visualizing. The next breath, I invite you to come back to this moment, noticing your fingers, your toes, and with the next breath, put your hands together and place them on your eyes. Just soak in this beautiful energy you have collected today. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you everyone for this beautiful meditation we had together today. As you come back, you can just sip a water and ask any questions or share your experience.
I just want to say, if you want to ask a question, please raise your hand so that we'll take all the questions, and just don't unmute and start talking. If you can raise your hand, it will be easy to address everybody. All right, so first question is from Sajal.
Hi, Pari. Yeah, that was really a good experience today.
Wonderful.
And the music was really, it was very calm and I could really concentrate. I've been doing this, this meditation from last 5 days, but today I felt a little bit, it's totally different experience today. So the question that I have, like at one point you said about the food habits, right? You said that like plant-based food, does that mean like we have to be like completely vegan, or like we cannot have non-veg food if we are following this pyramid practice?
Great questions. Is your name Sejal? Sejal?
Sajal.
Sajal. Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful. And I'm glad you are here doing this meditation. And yes, when I say food, plant-based whole food, that is what it means. So basically, removing anything that is coming that has a physical heart in it. That means fish, meat, birds, anything that has a physical heart, you remove from your diet. And that is essential to really experience these benefits of this meditation. Because if you are eating meat and you're meditating, it's basically like you have a bucket with holes and you're filling water in it. So you really are not going to experience the fullness of that water, because you have holes. It's draining you. We are talking about empowerment. We are talking about being fearless. We are talking about believing in yourself and all the emotions. And remember, I said everything is energy. Your emotions is energy. When we eat meat, which undergo through stress and fear and trauma, we take that energy within us, which is not working with our intentions. So to really, it's not about going vegan. You don't have to remove eggs now. You don't have to remove dairy. But start, if you're eating meat, start with just removing the meat and practicing this for 30 days minimum to see the difference. You must actually be not taking meat for 30 days at least to see the difference, and with an intention that you're not going to consume again. And that's where you start manifesting, seeing the law of attraction working for you.
All right, that helps. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Anyone else? Even if you just want to share your experience today about how you started or anything that you want to share.
I don't see any more raised hand, but I have a question, Pari, regarding the pyramid.
Mhm.
So you said the material doesn't matter, and then the angle is what that matters. Now, is there a way we can check the angles? Because there are a lot of vendors and there are a lot of people who sell pyramids now. So just to understand what is correct and how to check the angle when we get the caps, is there a particular way that or a process that we can do?
So normally the easiest way is if you have a proper angled mold, like you can create your own pyramid as well at home. In fact, there is a video on PMC Hindi. In Hindi, there is a video about how to create your own pyramid at home. So you can get geometrical instruments and start making your own. So that's like really the best way to know once you have a mold created. So if you have any other pyramid, this is how actually all pyramids like these orgone pyramids are made. They have a mold and they put this pyramid on top of it to check it. So that's how you at home you can check. Or the best way is easy. It's not very difficult to make your own pyramid. There are in PMC we have a lot of videos teaching you how to create a video. I mean, how to create a pyramid. And also on the point that material doesn't matter, for meditation really it doesn't matter. But if you're really experimenting with pyramids, like doing a lot of research or things like that, like I do a lot of energy work, when I'm doing all of that, then I normally do not use plastic, because what happens with plastic is it creates positive ions. If you know the science between of positive and negative ions, and negative positive ions is not good for us, for that energy is not good. So I normally avoid plastic. I would prefer copper, wood, stone, any earth materials or copper. That And the best conductor is gold. If you have a golden pyramid, it is the highest conducting energy. So that's when you're really doing a lot of work with it, energy work. But just for meditation and all, it really doesn't matter.
Okay. And then to check the angle is just a regular geometric, any kind of
Yeah,
thing you can.
There's a very simple video on PMC Hindi. It's in Hindi. Yeah.
There is, okay. I have seen one which shows a cardboard pyramid, cardboard and the paper pyramid, but I'll check again and I'll forward it to the group
Yes,
also if
yes,
they want to
yes.
see it. And then we have two more who have raised hand. Let's see. Amita?
Yeah. Hi, Pari.
Hello. Okay, you're muted.
How about now?
Yeah.
So I have been fascinated with pyramids for the last few weeks now. I have seen pyramids floating in front of my eyes during meditation. And it's just strong connection I have that I need to have pyramids. And I've researched a lot. And, you talked about the materials. I have seen, they come in resins and they have crystals in them. They have stones in them. I understand that it's good to have a hollow pyramid. And I think Komal is trying to procure some for us, for all of us. Thank you, Komal and Prachi. But so if I was to buy pyramids, where do I get them from? I mean, there's so many sites, Etsy, Facebook, Amazon. What kind of pyramids where do I get those pyramids, the good ones?
Well, that's a good question. The pyramids that see again on Etsy and Amazon everywhere, there are different kinds of pyramids. There is Nubian, as I mentioned, there's Nubian pyramids, which are built in Sudan. There is Russian pyramids. There is a golden section pyramid, and this is the Giza pyramid. So when you are looking for pyramids, you of course I work with all kinds of pyramids. Like this is Russian pyramid that I work with, and they have their own effects on the angles. As the angles differ, they have their own effects. You would check for Giza pyramid on Etsy. Normally what I have seen is just the pipe comes to around $90 or $125, just the pipe pyramids. The thing, wherever you're searching, the thing that you have to say is Giza pyramid, and the angle should be 51 degrees 51 minutes.
Okay.
That is the perfect angle.
The all the pyramids that I've seen, they don't mention anything like that.
So you
There's
have to
something
ask
called
the vendor.
they say that the Obsidian pyramid. I actually got one that's a chakra pyramid. I was supposed to receive it today. It's got crystals in it. It's got a copper wire in it.
Yeah, that's the Orgone pyramid.
Orgone, is that good?
Yeah. Or again, you need to understand the science about what it does. And
Yeah, I need to attend your class then.
You must attend my classes, because I really teach this in depth. Orgone pyramids
So,
is, yeah.
One of my friends who also meditates, she gave me this marble pyramid just as, as a souvenir. And I kept it. I keep it next to me, but I don't know what it does yet. So, I want to learn more.
Yeah. See, most of the times when I come across people who are interested in pyramids immediately or crystals, they are normally not, I'm not generalizing. What I have seen the most is that they have their past lives in Atlantean civilization.
Okay.
So
that's interesting.
Yes, so you must have worked with pyramids, and that's why you are intrigued about it right now. So all this crystal work, healing, any kind of healing work, if you get lean towards, mostly you may have a birth, you are from that civilization, the Atlant. If you know more about Earth history, that not the history that we are taught in schools, but the real
Mhm.
history about Atlantean civilization, Lemurian and Sumerian, all these civilizations that Earth had before, where the technology was not the technology like this, it was spiritual technology.
Mhm.
So telepathy, teleportation, healing with meditation, all of these things used to be there. And now we are going back to that density, I mean, that dimension again. So that's happening. So if you're really getting inclined, meditate more and ask yourself where, if maybe healing is something that you may be interested in.
Mhm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Priya?
Yes. Hi, Pari. Um, I have a question about the theory you're explaining. You mentioned that in order to check our frequency, we need to check our emotions and feelings. But aren't the emotions and feelings are also created by mind? Which means I'm kind of creating however I think they are, right? So how does it actually truly tell me um, what is really happening rather than what is my mind creating?
Okay. Hi, Priya. And where are you from, Priya?
Um, back home from Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. Okay, wonderful. We are actually doing Tamil sessions, by the way. Today is day 2. We started a 21-day Tamil program, and we are seeing amazing connections coming out. So please tell anybody you know who is in US to attend that sessions.
Sure, your timing is actually conflicting with the timing that Prachi have.
Oh,
I was about to say that,
actually in the morning,
Buddy.
our morning. So it's actually our 7:30, it's 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Indian time, 7:30 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, Tamil.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it all right if I
I
skip 2 days and then continue from like the
Yeah,
third
yeah,
day?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Come anytime.
Okay.
Yeah. So bring all your friends and anybody you know in US and across that, please let them know.
Sure.
Okay.
And I think, Pari, she was talking about that course that you mentioned about that 40-day that you're starting about the pyramids. That time is actually
Oh,
clashing with
okay, okay.
this time.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, then, then you can watch it later. You can register and watch the replay, but it's up to you. Okay, so going back to your question, the emotions and feelings are created by the mind. So here I need to explain a little bit. I do a course called Conscious Creators Bootcamp. So in that I explain this in detail. So in a normal, in our school, that we are taught that our brain actually sends messages to our body, right? About everything, like it sends what to think, when to move. The brain is like the main master organ. That's what we are taught in school.
Yes.
But the science basically now is, um, it's not our brain, it's our heart that sends signals. So our heart has 40,000 sensory neurons, which are brain cells, that actually send information to your brain, and your brain then releases, it triggers a 1400 biochemical reactions, which actually which actually trigger all your hormones from from your endocrine system. So what happens is the 90% of your hormonal release is controlled by your autonomous nervous system, and your autonomous nervous system is connected to your heart and your brain. So every time you actually have like any kind of your heart actually senses and triggers those emotions into your in your body, that chemicals in your body. So, and also if that trigger happens again and again and again, it kind of gets programmed. Like for example, if you come home and you smell your mom's cooking dal, you smell that every single day. So your heart now gets programmed. Oh, if anywhere you smell that dal, you remember those memories again, because
Okay.
you have been programmed. So your heart is the main organ that actually triggers all your emotions. And now your emotions, your mind is thoughts. And again, say for example, if your mind thinks about if your mind has sexual, you're thinking about sexual feeling, sexual thoughts, you may actually have that emotion activated just by thinking about it, or just by thinking about um, having an experience or anything. Your body starts just by thinking about a presentation that is coming up and you're dreadful about it, or having that Monday blues, your Sunday. Just by thinking, your heart will start that feeling, that heaviness. And that's what probably you're talking about, like I'm creating this emotion within me by thinking about that again and again and again.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so that emotion, so when you start feeling it, when you are living in that emotion, that's when your frequency is going down. So your emotions are basically, there are two kinds of emotions. I will not say bad, I never talk about good or bad. There are two kinds. One is energizing, one is draining. The emotions can either energize you, recharge you with energy, or they can drain you. That means like discharge your energy, you get drained. So the emotions that energize you are gratitude, compassion, tolerance, patience, non-judgmental, all of that we talked about. The emotions that drain you are frustration, impatience, intolerance, um, not complaining, worrying, grief, shame, guilt. All these are draining. And this is all the science which I actually teach about what is this and how do you actually measure it? How do you actually feel it in your heart? So based on that, so it's not just about thinking you lose energy. It's about actually feeling that, creating that emotion. Emotion is what? Energy in motion, emotion. So when you're actually in emotion, your energy is in motion. And that motion can either be draining or can either be energizing you. And if you are in anxiety, if you're in depression, they're actually contagious. So if you have somebody coming home from stress from work, you may have experienced this. They bring their stress at home. Initially, we'll be like, okay, is everything fine? And if they're still in stress, that actually comes on to us. It's contagious. In the same way, happiness is contagious too. So that's why when we bring ourselves into coherence, now I'm introducing a word called coherence. Coherence means mind, heart, and emotions being in alignment. When you bring, it's not about following your mind, it's not about following your heart. You have to bring your mind and heart into alignment, and that is called coherence. When you are in coherence, you actually start creating resonant frequencies, that we have a magnetic field around us. And this is not aura that I'm talking, a magnetic field. And that magnetic field has radio waves like information. So we broadcast information into that magnetic field. And that broadcast happens through our emotions. Whatever I am feeling, even though if I'm Are Priya is asking such an idiotic question, why is she here? Even though I'm like smiling and answering question, if I'm feeling it in my heart, I'm actually projecting that in my environment, and you will never resonate with my energy anymore. Because energy, you can sense it. We sense it with our magnetic fields. So it's not, this is again, I'm not even talking about the spiritual side. This is all science. So, and you can measure this magnetic field. So it's about 3 feet. And your brain also has magnetic field, but your heart's magnetic field is 5,000 times stronger than your brain's magnetic field. So that is why your emotions are the key in understanding what information are you projecting in your magnetic field. What are you communicating? It's not just about communicating through words. We communicate a lot with our energy. So when we meditate every day, we bring coherence. And with that coherence, we are communicating information that are aligned with this mind and our heart. So we are not projecting confusion. We are being clear. Clarity is power. When we are clear and we are projecting clear thoughts, the other person also gets empowered around you. I know I gave a very big explanation, but I had to tell you this to give you that background.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
Wow, we're almost 10:40 and
Yeah. I guess there are no more questions. I would like to conclude
yes,
here. Pari, I'm really on. We are all honored for you to be here, and talking, giving us such a vast knowledge about pyramids, Patriji, and yourself. Sharing your experience. It was something that I also learned a lot. So, also, if you can share the courses that you were talking about in either with me or Komal, we will go ahead and forward it to the group. And yeah,
Put it in the chat, yes.
I
Yeah.
put
It's in
some
the chat.
links. If anybody wants to connect or ask any questions or whatever it is, I put all my links there. You can also go to, if you want to see my events, go to paripatri.com. You'll see my story, my events, and everything.
awesome.
And so I work under the wing called PSSM Global, where we are, as I mentioned, the mission is to the greatest. If this is a question that everybody asks, Pari, why do I have to donate to teaching meditation? I might as well donate to somebody who is poor and give them food. This is my answer, guys. Teaching meditation is the highest service you can give to humanity. Why? Because if you give food, they are hungry, they'll come back. If you give shelter, they want more in life. But when you give meditation, you empower them to believe in themselves, to be master, to own their responsibility, to create the life that they really, really want to live. So what Komal and Prachi are doing are the service to the human, to the earth, the Gaia itself. The Gaia becomes happy as we teach this meditation, as we share this information. So I invite you to share your contributions to PSSM in any way that you like, whether it is like volunteering to teach meditation in your communities, in your families, in your wherever you are, to anybody in your organization, in your companies, or to contribute your time, your skills in with working with us, because we always have so much work, and we invite everybody to join us to share this love that we are experiencing every single day. The abundance just opens up as we work and share this information, and I'm seeing this in my life. Or if you think that, hey, you know what, I don't have time to invest, but maybe you can contribute in a monetary way. Anything is energy exchange, money is energy exchange. So whatever that you can contribute, we would love to receive the love in any way possible. And we are here to serve, we are here to help anybody. Teach meditation is the prime goal for us. Again, as I said, we are all masters, we absolutely create our realities. There is nobody, no god, no person outside of us that are here to save us. Only we can save ourselves. So thank you very much, and I put all the links. And I would love to hear your experiences. You can write to me and let me know as well. And thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
you,
Let's
Pari.
do a
Thank
quick
you so
round of
much.
applause for Pari. If everybody can unmute, and as Ravindra sir always says, let's do a quick round of applause up on the.
Thank you. And
Thank
Amita,
you,
I'll see
Pari.
you in the pyramid classes or public classes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
I'm saying I'll see you in the classes.
I will
Pyramid
definitely reach out to you.
Yes, yes,
This
yes,
was meant to be.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you,
Good
everybody.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you, Komal and Pari. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Komal and
Thank
Prachi.
Yeah.
Pari,
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Suma. Bye, Kalpana.
Bye.
Shobha.
Bye.
Bye, Ram.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Good night. Good night, guys.
I'm looking for the meeting. I don't feel like leaving the meeting, it looks like. Bye, Ram.
She's not finding the meeting to leave.
I think Pari left too.
Pari did leave.
Okay. Chalo.
बंद करें बहुत देर हो गई आज तो
Yeah. Let's go. Okay.
चलो बाय गुड
Bye.
नाइट
Bye. Bye. Bye.